Good morning, everyone. Still pretty small, hair still pretty big. So I want to kick this off this morning with a little crowd participation. Hopefully it'll be a little bit fun. I know you all just sang, but if you can bear with me. I have a little game, and it's pretty straightforward. What's going to happen is I'm going to show you some colors on the screen, and all you have to do is tell me what those colors are. Sound good? All right. Together, as a group, everyone, what color is this? All right, next one. Green. Cool. Next one. Yellow. All right, so far so good. It's not too hard, right? No one got stumped on any of those. Okay, this next one might be a little more difficult for you guys to come to as a group. I want you to tell me what sound this color makes. All right, so. All right, any other suggestions? All right, so I got a couple there, but I'm mostly getting some blank faces from you, so it's probably time for me to explain. For me, when I look at this color and every other color that we saw before this, it makes a sound to me, and that is because I have synesthesia, more specifically, chromesthesia. And some of you are probably wondering what the hell synesthesia is, so I will explain. And we're all familiar with anesthesia, which is no feeling. Synesthesia is the combination of feelings. So two or more senses are often buddied up and triggered together. It's a common condition with senses like hearing or feeling or tasting, which are often intertwined with one another. And there are many different types of synesthesia. I think there are about 63 total. One of them is grapheme color synesthesia, where individual letters in the alphabet or numbers are assigned a color. There's also, this one's probably my favorite. So, there's also another one that's called mirror touch synesthesia. Now, we can probably all empathize with and feel this dude's pain when we look at this GIF, but there are some people who will physically feel the same pain that he felt when he landed on this judge's table. And then there's a type of synesthesia that I have, which is chromesthesia. And for me, that's often taken form in me seeing colors whenever I hear sounds, and sometimes hearing sounds when I see colors. So remember earlier when I asked you all what sound this color makes? For me, it's something similar to nails on a chalkboard, but I will spare you the sound clip because I'm a nice person. To be honest, not a lot of people know that I have synesthesia, and when they find out, they often ask me questions like, is it something I can turn on and off, or when did I first start to develop it? And synesthesia isn't something that you develop over time. I woke up like this. If you have synesthesia, it's going to affect you every day. It'll never go away. People with synesthesia perceive the experience spontaneously with no effort on their part, and it's accepted as a completely normal part of their day-to-day life. I have a few fond childhood memories. I remember avoiding some colors in the Crayola box, like violet red, which is more like violent red, am I right? It might also explain why, as a little girl, that's me, I was pretty sassy back then. Might also explain why, as a little girl, when my mom would ask me what sound a cow makes, I would respond, brown? And that's because every time I hear a sound or a series of sounds, it triggers either a color or a series of colors. So for me, rainfall on a tin roof is something like a midnight blue with tints of gray. And an owl hooting is a deep foresty green. Now, these color associations, and by that I mean the colors that are assigned to a certain pitch or tone or sound or note, those combinations are highly idiosyncratic, and it usually is consistent over time, but the formula works as you would expect. So most people with chromesthesia will match high-pitched sounds to brighter, lighter colors, and low-pitched sounds to darker or to deeper, richer tones. But those combinations are not likely to change over time. So if I hear a note once, I will associate a color with it. And if I hear that exact same note again, I will associate the exact same color with it. Synesthesia can be an incredibly immersive experience, and it'll take you away if you really let it. I mean, I used to commute from from San Francisco to Palo Alto, and there would be times where I would listen to one song on repeat the entire train ride down. And I would just get lost in its colors and its notes, and it was almost like watching an abstract film most times. I thankfully never missed any stops, but I did come pretty close a few times. These experiences for me are almost meditative. If you watch me listening to music through headphones, or better yet, even at a live show, at a concert, I am often in my own little world. It's just me and the music and the colors. I often wish that I had some sort of creative talent to outwardly manifest these colors, these paintings, if you will, that are in my brain. But I wonder, even if I were a skilled painter, if paint on canvas would be adequate. I mean, when you think of your favorite songs, they have depth, they have rich tones, they're multi-layered, they're intricate, and I wonder if paint would even suffice. Chromesthesia is very much a right brain thing. I mean, the left brain is logical and linear, but the right brain is very airy and creative and intuitive, and in fact, most of the people with synesthesia tend to be creatives. Some of the benefits of synesthesia, chromesthesia specifically, are higher levels of creativity and better sound memory, but some of the downfalls include difficulty with numbers and mixing up your left and your right. I mean, my left and my right. I didn't know the term synesthesia until maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I was chatting with a friend of mine who told me that he saw colors and sounds when he listened to music, and I was like, oh, that happens to me. And then he introduced the term synesthesia to me. And all this time, I just figured that's the way that all creatives had thought. But as it turns out, the type of synesthesia that I have, chromesthesia, affects just 1% of the population. And that might explain a conversation I had once with a creative friend of mine. She's a writer. We were listening to music, and I asked, hey, what colors do you see when you hear this song? And she responded with a very blank stare, like some of you did earlier. And she asked me, you mean, what color scheme would I use to best represent this song, or what? And I was like, no. What colors do you see when you hear the notes in the song? Again, a blank stare. And after that, she managed to get me to explain to her that I involuntarily see colors when I hear notes. And then she proceeded to lovingly call me a freakazoid, which Urban Dictionary describes as a person, animal, thing, or with outstanding, extreme, or unusual characteristics or skills, which, I'm just going to take as a compliment.